Hello Aquarius, and welcome to 2019. Aquarius, it is going to be a game changer year for you. You've been doing a lot of inner soul work, and this is going to be a year of kind of completing that journey, I guess is the way I would put it for you. The theme for you, I'm really feeling when I went and did the research and had a look at the astrology, is it's a year of recalibration. Okay, so it's really about coming back to yourself, finding your true north again. And I say that because these eclipses for you are going to bring up things that are buried deep in your subconscious mind. Okay, so it's basically a focus on the area of karma for you and how you get your own way. You're really going through this process of clearing out whatever it is that's buried deep in your subconscious mind. Let's say clearing house is a good way of thinking about it. It's like clearing through all the gunk so that you can actually get back to the true core of who you are at your center. And what's really interesting is that Saturn's in Capricorn, and Saturn in its own ruler, its own house, is really powerful. Okay, it kind of strengthens any planet when it's in its own house, its own sign, and this is having an effect on, like I said, your karma, things that need to be released. So it's a very big focus for you on having the courage to release any kind of negative experiences that may have held you back in the past. Okay, it's time to release them with love and light, and that's what the theme of this year is. It's like release, recalibrate, come back to center, because as you come into 2020, and more importantly 2021, which is going to be massive for you as Jupiter moves into your sign, you need to prepare yourself to handle that kind of energy, right? And in doing that, that means getting your mental state in the right place. And one of those things is, I've written some notes here, it's all about being open to change, okay? As I said, change comes with great courage, and that can only happen when you're actually ready to accept what was, what didn't work out, make amends with it, and be ready to move forward. You have a huge focus on your 12th house, and that's really a big thing about how we sabotage ourselves. What's interesting is whenever we have this kind of focus in our 12th house, and it's interesting because Capricorn's kind of had that for, a little while now, so I kind of get this energy. It's asking us to really look deep within. Past life stuff could come up, okay? And I find this quite interesting because as I was meditating and kind of getting ready to do your reading, a lot of the stuff that kind of came up was about past lives. And just recently, as I said, Capricorn's been going through 12th house. For those that aren't subscribed to me and don't know, I am a Capricorn. I've been having a lot of past life work come up, and I've been seeing a lot of my past lives come up. So I feel like for you this year, if you believe in that kind of thing, it's an opportunity for you to kind of do that work or seek out someone that can help you if you're not sure how. But basically, the best way I can say it is it's a time to recalibrate, okay? You're becoming deeper, wiser, more well-rounded. It's like that gemstone, right? You're no longer that diamond, that rough diamond. You're becoming the polished diamond after time and pressure and learning all of these lessons. Massive year in astrology in terms of eclipses, okay? We have 5, and they're no small eclipses either. At the time of filming this, we have just passed the Capricorn new moon, partial solar eclipse on the 5th or 6th of January, depending where you are. I'm filming this in Australia, so it's the 6th of Jan. This eclipse is focusing on healing your wounds and celebrating strength, okay? So it's really about you being able to clear the last of your shadows, that last of that inner deep work that's kind of maybe holding you back in some way. And you'll know what I'm talking about, Aquarius, okay? It's that inner work that you need to do in order to prepare yourself so that you can open your heart and be ready to receive for what's coming your way, because there is a lot coming. As we get to the end of January, we have a full moon total lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo. What does this mean? This is basically shining a light on something to do with love, something that you need to kind of close, okay? A cycle, something completing. For some of you, it could be a relationship. Maybe you're a parent and you're missing the other parent, and it's about actually accepting that that's never going to come back into fruition. It was what it was. Maybe you created a beautiful child together. It's never going to go back to that. For others of you, maybe you've ended a marriage and it's about now accepting that that's run its course as well. Or for some of you, it's actually about accepting that you're no longer going to be single and you're now getting ready to be your very best self so you can attract in new love. So that's the eclipse that's in the sign of Leo on the 21st. That is the very last eclipse for Leos. We end that cycle. It's interesting because we had the North Node in Leo and the South Node and North Node have just shifted. So the North Node's now in Cancer and the South Node's now in Capricorn. What does that mean? The North Node shows us where we're going and the South Node shows us where we're coming from. And Cancer and Capricorn are like the mother and the father of the zodiac, right? So it's all about nurturing. And for you, its particular focus is on your home, okay? So for you, it's about releasing all of this energy, all of this karma, and actually pulling the focus back on to where you live, where your home is, what your base is. You know, it's your foundation, let's put it that way. Some of you may be moving this year, and I do see that in the cards that I've laid out for you already, so stay with me because I will get into that card by card. And that for you is going to be a really welcomed change, okay? And that's thanks to Uranus. Uranus is making that happen, particularly if you are the Aquarius born in the first decan, so the ones that have your birthday in January coming up very soon, you could see another house move. And I feel like wherever you're moving at this time, it's actually going to mentally give you strength, okay? It's just going to lift your spirits. It's going to bring you more light, and I kind of see that coming through. What else did I want to tell you? July is going to be really interesting. We have 2 eclipses in July. So one on the 2nd in the sign of Cancer. It is the new moon total solar eclipse. Again, focusing on the area that I was discussing with you before about working on, you know, your subconscious mind, what's deep buried, your karma, how to get your own way, clearing out all of that kind of stuff. And then we have the full moon partial lunar eclipse on the 16th of July. So for you, this is going to be very much focused on your home, your foundation. Saturn's asking you to put a real focus on actually be clear about releasing these negative experiences so that you can come back to you building your wealth, your strength again. And you know, sometimes what I find when I talk to people when it comes to love readings or foundational readings or any kind of change that they've had like that, they often talk to me about, when am I going to meet my soulmate, Ali? When am I going to, you know, meet the love of my life, or how am I going to progress? And often even people that have met that person, they're not ready to make that step yet or progress yet because they're still holding on to stuff from the past. So even if you're in a happy relationship and committed and you're going, oh, that's not me, I'm quite happy with my partner, then it's about actually letting go of some stuff that's happened in your relationship, whatever negative experiences it may have been, so that you can prepare for the next phase in that commitment, okay? Now, finally, Mercury is retrograde in this period, so it's going to be crazy time in terms of communication. You are wise, though. You're kind of stepping into your own, so it's not going to bother you too much. And Mercury does rule the sign of Gemini, so, you know, you're going to have, it's like your sister sign, so you're going to have, like, it's an easier time than most in that month. Hurrah. But then finally, in December, again, we have another full moon eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. So driving it back to the area for you, very much about healing your wounds, clearing that last of the shadows in your inner work, okay? All right, so a little bit heavy in terms of what's happening on from an astrological point of view, but only from darkness can we see the light, and it's kind of coming through to your sign, as I said, to prepare you for the incredible stuff that's coming when Jupiter enters your sign in 2 years' time. So this is really a year of recalibration for you. Moving on to tarot, because that's what we're all here for. I have laid out 12 cards, one for each month. I've broken it down into 6-month periods because the first 6 months is kind of more of a certain energy. The second 6 month can change depending on what happens in the first. But I've laid out January through to June, and I have one trump card that kind of gives me an overall arching guidance or energy of what's coming in for you. And then I've done July through to December and another card that kind of shows me your overall energy for that time period. These cards that I'm using are the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. They are quite a deeply spiritual deck. I don't normally use them on the channel much because, You know, some of the pages of description in these cards are 5 to 6 pages long. They get really quite wordy and long. But I love the illustrations, and I was called to use them because this next couple of years are going to be massive for every single sign. I felt like it was appropriate. However, to bring it back to reality, I am going to use traditional Rider-Waite to give a clarity on each month, so that we kind of have a little bit of grounding. So we have the uplifting spiritual and the grounding kind of Rider-Waite deck. So let's get started. Let's have a look at your first 6 months, because it looks really interesting. The universe is presenting you with so much choice, right? And again, it's back with that theme of release, letting go of your kind of like that wounded soldier kind of feel. And for me, I just want to point out to you, one of the very best things about doing that in this time period, as I'm filming this before we get to the Leo full moon on the 21st of January, is that all of the planets are direct. Okay, so in the next 3 months until we get to the 6th of March, you literally have nothing holding you back in terms of achievement. So whatever it is that you feel like has been holding you back in terms of karma, your subconscious mind, let's say you've been focusing on how you sabotage yourself, self-sabotage, that kind of thing, past life shit, then this is the best time to clear that and manifest something new. And the universe is kind of giving me those cards. I can see that energy for you here straight away. So let's get straight into it now. Straight into it, she says, at 11 minutes. Can I please have some additional guidance for January through to June? Let's rock and roll, Eddie. Shoot 'em. One card, please, for January. There it is. No, that's several. One. 3 of Swords. Mending a broken heart. You have the 3 of Swords repeating twice in the first 3 months, by the way. First in the upright and then in the reverse as we come into March. So that's a good place to be in. February, please. Nine of Swords. And March. There it is. 9 of Wands. Yeah, it's that real, there's a little bit of anxiety and heavy energy coming through until you get to the second half of the year, okay? And this is all your own doing, your own choice. So you're in control of how this plays out. Just hang in there. Okay, cool. All right, so January starts off with the card of the 6 of Earth, 6 of Pentacles, and 3 of Swords. Typically, you know, people will read 3 of Swords in quite a harsh manner, okay? It doesn't always mean the doom and gloom third party situation crap that people talk about. And, you know, sometimes it is that. I look for other cards around it to kind of give me that indication. But for you, January for me feels a month about releasing whatever kind of karmic debt you're still holding on to. And one of the big ways I feel that is for you, whenever I see the 6 of Pentacles, it's always a card for me that speaks about reciprocity, even give and take. And if I'm honest, I feel like, Aquarius, you've been giving far too much when it's come to your intimate relationships. Like, absolutely going above and beyond in terms of what you give, and often to the point where people take advantage of you, and that's why it leaves you heartbroken. I feel like this is your invitation to really step up, be open to change, and have the courage to let that go. Because ultimately, I know that what you're looking for is more something that's even, give and take, that's really fulfilling, that's nurturing, and that's caring, that's grounded, and that feels very like that warm hug from that beautiful grandmother that maybe you had or you didn't have, or you always wish that you had, you know, something that makes you feel like it's home. And for you in January, this is the kind of themes that's going to come up, right? That's going to come up. It's like, yes, shit has happened in the past and it hasn't worked out for you. That's okay. It's time to let go, release and let go, so you can bring in the real stuff that's coming through. For some of you, it could literally mean that you're breaking up with an earth sign, or something that you've had is ending in January for you. And if I haven't said this already in this particular reading, please note that eclipses are final. So at that full moon eclipse in Leo, and it is in the area for you, all about, where did I write my notes? Love and commitments, you're either going to be making a new commitment at that 21st, or you're going to be releasing a very stagnant old commitment that's run its course. February. So February looks interesting, okay? We have the card of choice and then the Nine of Swords. This is really interesting because it's like such a weird combination, right? You've got, this card is noted in the book by the author as the very best card you can get in the entire deck. It is the card typically that we'd resonate with the Fool in traditional tarot. But it's coupled with the Nine of Swords. So what does this mean? It kind of speaks to me about having all the choice at your fingertips, using your logical mind and knowing that you can truly go anywhere. If you have a look at this card, there is an illustration that shows the sword of truth, the wisdom of truth. It's illumination between light and dark, shadow, day and night. But it's your own self that's standing in the way. It's like your anxious thoughts that are keeping you up at night. Now, this may not pertain to love. You could be watching this. Remember, it is a general reading, but you could be watching this and saying, Ali, I'm in a fantastic relationship. Nothing's going to happen to me. We're committed, we're solid, we're rock solid. Then it's not in that area of your chart, right? Everyone has a personal birth chart. It depends on where the planets are aligned and what houses you have where. So for you, this could be about many other things, like who you are in the world, your status in the world, whatever it is that you have self-doubt about, whatever that niggling thing is, that story that you tell yourself, that's the thing that keeps you up at night. That's where you have this path of choice, okay? And I feel like Spirit's telling me, I'm getting the very clear message to remind you that this is only a temporary situation, okay? You can control this. This is why we watch tarot, to be aware of what's coming up for us in February. The true power lies within. You have the power and the courage to actually manifest everything that you hope and want when it comes to your life. It's all a matter about figuring out what that life looks like. What do you want to bring in? Which path do you want to take? Do you want the golden apple? Do you want the sword of truth? What are you going to do for yourself, Aquarius? And I think when you kind of look at it from that angle, you take your power back, right? You're no longer this person that's like going, I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills. I don't know what I'm doing with my career. I hate my job. It sucks. This boyfriend's a dickhead. I'm really not enjoying my parents, my future parents-in-law, whatever it may be, okay? And I'm sorry to anyone that has a dickhead of a boyfriend, but do you know, whatever it may be, because it's really about you personally, and you'll know what it is that keeps you up at night. You have the choice, okay? You always have choice, and there's only ever two choices when we break it down: the choice between love and fear. Now, as we get into March, remember this is still, the planets are direct until about the 6th, and then we start to see some retrogrades. I think Mercury is the first one to go retrograde. We have an incredible card here for you. We've got the Three of Swords in the reverse and the Nine of Wands. Now, I love this because remember, you've got the Three of Swords in the upright coming in January. So this is the wound that's still very much real for you. And if it's not a breakup, if it's not a career change, then it could just be stuff that you're hanging on to from, you know, years ago, negative shit, or it's past life shit that you're holding on to. I feel like you do the work, particularly in February, because then you come in and it's showing me that it's reversed, that you're moving on, that you're literally taking those swords of hurt out of you, okay? And you're moving on to something new. You're kind of dropping all these sticks of anxiety and you're trying to move on to something new. You're hanging in there, basically, let's put it that way. Whenever we have to do work on this area of our chart, you know, the 12th house, that deep subconscious area of karma, how we self-sabotage ourselves, it's heavy energy. There's no two ways about it. We all go through it. I went through it before, you know, a couple of years ago, and I can tell you it's really uncomfortable. It's that icky kind of, you know, deep inner work. And sometimes it's because we're preparing ourselves for the new life change. Some of you could be getting married this year, making a new step, looking at something new. But in order to do that and present your best self or the new version of you, you've got to do the inner work, right? You've got to clear through the gunk. And that's what the universal spirit and all the planets are asking you to do, is to have a look deeply and see where you're holding yourself back. The card of union coupled with the Ace of Wands comes in for you at April. April's going to give you a little bit of a breather, okay? This is a beautiful combination. What's interesting about this is the Ace of Wands coupled with union really speaks about, how can I explain this? it's like a restart, a refresh. So, you know, I've said that your buzzword for this year is recalibrate. You're recalibrating who you are. You're like getting the engine right. You're kind of getting yourself ready, forward motion movement type shit. This card speaks about aligning yourself to mind, body and soul, spirit, heart, everything coming through. There's so much beautiful symbolism in this card. I mean, I could talk about it for days. What's really interesting is that I feel like you're finally getting your groove back. Yeah, whatever you've gone through in the first half of this year has allowed you to finally get your groove back and start something new. For some of you, you will start a new job when it comes to April. I feel like maybe just after Easter is when it'll come through. And it'll be something that's really rewarding. It could be a completely different field, okay? You could just have anxiety about your career and not being fulfilled, and that's what's keeping you up at night. And then you're like, yep, I'm going to make this change. I'm going to go for it. And I feel like whatever it is that you do go for, it's going to be quite fulfilling for you, okay? It's going to be something that is going to bring you a lot of reward, particularly in the second half of the year. So for those that are thinking about that and the timing kind of seems right, I feel like April's going to be a good month for you. For others, this could denote a passionate new beginning, a union with someone that's quite steamy. Okay, this is a card that kind of speaks to me more of like that grounded kind of love, and this is a card that speaks to me, well, it's phallic, right? Passion, sex, intimacy. It's quite a beautiful combination because ultimately we want both, right? We want to have that beautiful friendship and that intimacy where we can be vulnerable and be ourselves, but also have, you know, great passionate sex where we're able to connect on that physical level. It could be a month of that for you, Aquarius, in April. Very much. May then throws another spanner in the works. It's like as soon as you get to like a breather, then the universe is like, right, you're ready for your next lesson. And I feel like the lesson for you is back in that deep subconscious mind, that mind of thought. This is a card that speaks about depression, so be very careful of your thoughts, okay? If you haven't followed my channel before, one of the best tools that I've ever found for myself and pulling myself out of my own depression was meditation. At first, the mentor that I was seeing at the time told me to meditate, and I was like, get out of here. I don't want any of that hippie wanky stuff around me, right? If only he could see me now surrounded with crystals and reading tarot on YouTube. Quite the shift. But at the time, I was a little bit like, that's not for me. You know, what is that going to do for me? But it really does a lot for your psyche, okay? It took me a long time. I think it was a couple of months before it actually started working for me. And now I'm like a complete advocate. There's a great free app you can get called Insight Timer. Download it from the App Store. It's free. You can see where everyone's meditating on the world. Go find me if you can. Let's be friends. It's a really cool app that actually will guide you on how to do this, okay? Because we need to be very careful in our thoughts. Thoughts becomes things. And this is the card denoting that for you, all right? It's telling you that if you're not careful of your conscious and subconscious thoughts, then, you know, you're going to manifest more negativity in your life. And this year is all about, like I said to you, it's in that house for you, about your deep subconscious, about your karma, about how you self-sabotage yourself. So it's almost like as if, for some of you, you get this beautiful connection, this connection that makes you feel fulfilled in April. And then it's almost like it's too good to be true. You start that kind of talk in your head, yeah? Don't do that. Catch yourself if you do, you know. It's easy for me to say that on camera, you know, I'm not the one with you in the moment, but you need to find coping mechanisms and ways to get through this energy so that you're not kind of stuck in that moment going, oh crap, I'm here again, I've got this great connection and I'm screwing it all up. What have I done? What's going on? Type thing, okay? You have the control. You always have the control. Remember that. June. Okay, so June you have the card of the scribe. So remember I said in the beginning, this is not your traditional tarot. So the pages and the knights have been replaced with, let's say, helpers to the kings and the queens of each individual element. And the scribe speaks about, well, look at him. He's very wise. I'm getting that kind of Native American feel, and that just could be because I'm channeling one of those guides at the moment, but it's very much about wisdom coming through. There is so much symbolism in this card. I'm just going to hold it here so that you can pause and have a look for yourself and see what you see. But I feel like the universe is giving you a little bit of a gift here, okay? Either your spirit guides or someone, if you do meditate, someone's going to come in, someone's looking over you that's going to come in and kind of guide you through the next phases that you need. This is back to that deep subconscious mind stuff, that karma. This could be past life stuff. This could be representing you in a past life, because it does represent the sign of air. So it's 12 of air. And being an air sign, it could be that this is the helper that you need to lift you up, level you up to the next phase of ascension. What's really interesting is I say helper, and you've got two cards that came out on this. You've got the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups. Now, these could be people that are quite prevalent in your life. Try not to hold too much on the fact that it's a king and a queen for gender. So it doesn't matter that she's a queen. She could be male or female, but just have quite a feminine energy. Vice versa for the king. This could be a female gender, but be a little bit more emotionally evolved than you, for example. Whoever these people are, they could be friends coming in to help you. And I very much say friends because it's fallen on the scribe together as a pair. And the scribe I see very much as a helper, like a spiritual guide coming in for you. Now, they could very well be lovers. That is an absolute truth as well. A fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But my gut feeling and spirit's showing me is kind of like friendship, like that kindred kind of spirit thing. Soulmate stuff that comes in that's not romantic. It's more platonic in nature to kind of help you level up. I guess the invitation here is if you are suffering from depression or anxiety and you have those two cards kind of stacked upon each other, because this kind of stuff is shit hard, right? It's not easy. If you are suffering from that, reach out to your friends, speak out, because they're going to be the guides that just give you that little boost when you need it the most. Your overall energy is amazing for the first 6 months. It's the Ace of Swords. You know, gift from the universe in terms of clarity, being able to see clearly, actually getting through, clearing the cobwebs, the psychic debris, the emotional debris, the past life debris of whatever it is that's held you back from being your very best self. This is the energy that you have for the first 6 months. So I want you to know, even when it gets tough, and I mean, this video is going to be up for the whole year, so you can come back to it whenever you need it. But even when it gets tough this year, even when you're faced with demons and stuff that you don't want to deal with, maybe you're a little bit ashamed of some of the stuff that you've done, although you shouldn't be. This is the card telling you that you are guided and you're going to have the clarity to see what you need to see so that you can move forward. I really love this card too because it's air, so it's that kind of backup to you, right? Being an air sign, it's like going, you do have the element around you of air supporting you as you go through this massive change, this recalibration. All right, a little bit heavy. I can feel it in my voice already going. Are you still with me? We've got another 6 months to go. The next 6 months, I'm pleased to say, it gets lighter, okay? Not by much, but it gets lighter. You're like, thanks, Ali. Where's all the love and romance and the money and the windfall and, you know, all that kind of stuff? Look, I'm going to tell you as it is, as the truth is, right? I'd rather have the truth than have someone just try and tell me fairy tales and rainbows. And the truth is, this is where you're at right now. And the astrology kind of confirms that. We can't all be having success and the wheel of fortune and karma turning in our favor, but it is coming for you. You just need to do the prep stages, right? So in this second half of the year, you have some really beautiful energy. I'm just going to get a card for each month like I did the top. Thank you, Spirit. Can I have a card on July, please? It's my terrible shuffling that's not. Thank you. Queen of Swords. That could be you, or it could be a Libra or an Aquarius. The Empress. Taurus, or a mother coming up around August. So that could be yourself, you could be a mother, or it could be reflecting your partner if you've separated from someone. Or it could be you wanting to create abundance with something new. Now, a lot of cards just came out there, and the card of the star, your sign, just flipped out. So I'm going to see if that comes back. Just one card, please, on the Ten of Wands. There it is. Thank you. High Priestess. So intuition, inner knowing, more deep conscious, subconscious kind of stuff. Beautiful. Okay, thank you, Spirit. So July, remember July I said was crazy. It's going to be crazy for all signs, but I feel like it's going to be, you're going to be one of the signs that's going to handle it a little bit better. You have the Queen of Swords coupled with the Crone. So this is air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, just like you, or this is someone being very truth to the point. The Crone is symbolic in this deck of someone that has reached their power. For the ladies watching, it's very much empowerment, like feminine power, girl power, that kind of rah-rah. But I like to think of it more as your own personal power, okay? When you go through this kind of deep looking and deep soul searching stuff, you're able to actually figure out who it is you truly are at your core after all these experiences. When you cut away all the pretense, all the bullshit from other people have put on you, the expectations from other people, the expectations you've put on yourself, the self-sabotaging behavior, and cut all of that away, then you're able to see who it is that's really left. You're able to see past the mask and kind of figure out who you are. And July is going to be that month for you to do that, okay? Remember I said you have 2 eclipses. You have the eclipse in Cancer and then one in Capricorn. And the eclipse in Cancer is all about looking at, I did write it down for you. It's all about looking at your foundation and your home, and then you've got the one in Capricorn, which is all about healing your wounds and celebrating your strength, okay? So it's vice versa. What's interesting is that as you get through that period, and you will get through it, you have the 8 of Swords, sorry, the 7 of Swords coupled with the Empress. The 7 of Swords can get a bad rap. It can speak about someone deceiving you. Now, I am going to call that as it is because of the kind of energy that's around the rest of the cards. For the men watching, be very careful about an ex-wife, an ex-lover, a woman, a partner that's coming back, because I feel like when it comes to August, maybe you're ending a relationship in July on the 16th at that Capricorn full moon, and the woman or your ex or your ex-partner could be quite deceptive. This is a card of trickery, deceit, stealing, theft. So if you're trying to divvy up assets, just remember what I said about giving and it not being reciprocated at the very beginning with the 6 of Pentacles. That's what you're kind of hoping for. If you are ending something with someone like that, then I feel like just be careful, because, you know, look at all the paperwork, look at everything clearly. I would say that more strongly if the Empress was in the reverse, because in the reverse she's quite a manipulative, cunning type of woman, but in the upright it just denotes abundance and a motherly, nurturing kind of figure. So it's a very small number of you that message applies, but I had to call it as I see it. This could also be about the 7 of Swords I see is about leaving that negativity, that 5 of Swords kind of energy, that 3 of Swords hurt that's come up for you twice in the beginning of the year, and actually being able to draw in abundance, being able to draw in all that you hope for, all that you have hoped for. Now, as you get to September, you have this energy of just wanting to give up, to throw it all in, because it is going to be tough, right? You have the 10 of Wands coupled with the High Priestess. So this is that physical, like, I just cannot take any more on. So I cannot take any more responsibility. I cannot take any more challenges in terms of, you know, mental stuff, work stuff, relationship stuff, whatever it is. But this is a card of inner knowing, of support, of intuition. The High Priestess is, you know, very connected to the deeper underworld, the stuff that we cannot see. She's all seeing, all knowing, and I feel like if you look within, you'll know that this is just completing a cycle for you, okay? 10s are all completing a cycle, and you're getting to that end, and you're getting to that end, like I said, so you can recalibrate, so you can start anew. October, November, December. So October, you come in with a card of knowledge coupled with the Hanged Man. So it's a month of kind of maybe stagnation, a little bit of limbo. It's asking you to just pause, more reflection on self-sabotage, on that deep kind of stuff. I know, I wish I could be talking again about fairies and rainbows on lollipops and winning the lotto and, you know, cruising around on yachts. If anyone has a spare yacht, you can send it my way, by the way. But it's really about you going within and doing more self-introspection, okay? Being illuminated, using your knowledge and being able to use the kind of stuff from your past life to know why you keep self-sabotaging situations, why you keep doubting yourself, why you keep doing all the things that you do that hold you back, okay? And we all do it. This is not a judgment call, okay, saying that I'm better than anyone else. We all have those moments where we will be self-critical to the point of a fault, and I don't really know where it comes from. I think it's a whole combination of things, nature versus nurture, you know, DNA, and also how we've been brought up. But this is really the year for you to kind of clear through all of that crap and go back and know that you have the knowledge, have the illumination to kind of get through it. So I feel like illumination is going to be the theme for you when it comes to October. And that makes a lot of sense because the planets are going to shift as we come to December. Jupiter's moving into Capricorn, which is, you know, getting closer and closer to your sign. So things are going to start to align for you. Finally, November is going to be a great month. It's where you kind of get to a stage of moving on to calmer waters. I hate that description, but you have the Six of Swords, okay? For some of you, this could be short distance travel over water. So you could be traveling somewhere in November. You could be taking a short trip, something that's gonna bring you joy. Or it could just be about actually getting to that stage mentally. I know that seems a long way away in November, but to the point in November where you're a lot calmer and you're ready to move on to a brand new you, to have the strength to kind of recalibrate and bring in the new. So November for you is going to be a really big month. It's just kind of like something goes off like a light bulb. It's like ding, and then finally you get the illumination you need to step into your next year. And then that's exactly what you have. You have the Page of Swords coupled with the Nine of Pentacles. So this is the Nine of Earth. Do you see the illumination that he's got there? It's like this is the same guy that's there in October, and then this is him in December. For all you rangers out there, look at you shining in your glorious light. You're going from being in this state of limbo, of like needing to really assess things in October, to finally being upright, centered, guided. This is the Nine of Pentacles. It's the card just before the Ten of Pentacles. So money in December 2019 looks really great for you, okay? It's like you finally unlocked everything. You finally got the clarity. Look at the third eye that's illuminated there. You know, the brilliant light from within, the throat chakra, the heart chakra. It's like you're opening up and you're ready to receive, Aquarius. The Page of Swords just further confirms that about getting the clarity that you need and kind of having the strength in order to cut away any pretense. Not surprisingly, your theme or your overall energy for the final 6 months of the year is body and mind. So this is the 11 of air. So it would be the equivalent of the Page of Swords again. So it's that kind of repeating message, cutting away all the crap and finding the balance between your body and your mind, your mental state of being. And I feel like that's the kind of lesson for you this year. It's about really trying to learn how to balance that negative self-talk, that talk of self-worth, you know, because you are amazing, you are beautiful, you have all this creative ability coming in, you have so much love to give. It's just a matter of actually telling that story to yourself. All right, Aquarius, let's have a look at additional guidance for you for love. I'm going to draw you one oracle card from this deck for Aquarius, please, in 2019. Thank you so much. You got the Knight of Angels, the Watcher. And then one card for your overall spirituality during 2019. I was called to use this deck. I think I talked about Native American stuff for you. One of my guides is coming through quite strongly about Native American rituals, traditions, healing. So I was asked to use this, so I'm going to use this. One card, please, for spirituality for Aquarius. Thank you so much. 18, Sacred Serpent. Look at the colors. Okay, so let me read for you your overall love message, which is the Knight of Angels. Watcher. You can determine much of what you would and wouldn't like through observation. Watch, learn, and direct your energy accordingly. An angel seeks to engage in life's mysteries through careful observation. He asks questions and collates information from near and far. This angel once sought answers through logic and reason. Over time, he realized this method could only take him so far. Now he sits still within his sacred heart as the mysteries of life drift towards him. Love-tinted lenses allow him to see the world in its entirety and realize that each question travels with its answer. All he seeks becomes present with perfect timing through golden rays of love. The Knight of Angels is a hallmark for sudden change or chaos. Hold on to your halo. This transformation will shift anything that is holding you away from the fullness of love. What have I been saying? It may arrive as a whirlwind romance or a friendship. Don't take their departure personally if they sweep you off your feet but leave just as suddenly. They arrive to help you reopen your heart. Don't close down, keep living life with an open, loving heart and watch what comes to you. Be ready for creative ideas or thoughts to sweep through you. I mean, that's perfect. I couldn't actually describe what I said before about some of you having this passionate union that comes through. And that exactly does as the book says, you know, it opens you up, opens your heart again, kind of shows you what is possible. Beautiful. All right, and lastly, Sacred Serpent. So this is your spiritual guide for the year, number 18. Light from the darkness, shedding an aspect of the past, transforming challenge into creativity. This healing mandala brings guidance on the transition you are currently experiencing. You are encouraged to support and enter the Aztec temple of the Serpent of Light. This mandala of renewal speaks of the balance of light and darkness within and thus without. It represents a time of solstice and celebration. The sacred serpent awakens within you your core and watches over you as you descend into the depths of yourself to enter the spiral of life. Honor this sacred time as you enter your inner temple for a journey that can only lead to renewal. This sacred serpent guides you in reawakening your light, carrying back within yourself so you can be born anew. Rise again, dear one, as the serpent rises within you. There you go, Aquarius. That was your reading for 2019. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. It helps the channel more than you know. If you felt like you would like a personal reading for your own 2019 year, a full breakdown month by month, I am available. The details are in the description bar below. Otherwise, I hope you found it helpful, and I will be back with you next week to do the weekly love readings. Take care.